So this is a photo I took and posted to my story when I was on a trip to BC a while ago, and I thought it was pretty funny in the moment, but it's still pretty relevant. Let's face it, the reality is that cameras are very expensive, and when you're a beginner, it sometimes makes it seem like the barrier to entry, especially the financial one, is just insane and basically unreachable. That was me, myself, many years ago, and I'm sure, like a lot of you guys watching this right now, whether you have a camera or are saving up for one, you've come to this realization. As someone who's now made tons of videos, taken lots of photos, used tons of different cameras from all different brands, as well as now own what I would say at this time is my dream camera, I wanted to share with you guys the story of how I ended up here and how I afforded and purchased my first camera. So unboxing another package here. I already know what's inside. I got the tracking confirmation, order confirmation this morning. And obviously if I'm showing it in one of these videos, it's gonna be something camera filmmaking related. Also, I'm sorry Mom, I'm using our kitchen knives for this because I don't have a pocket knife with me. This is very nice. These are some microphones over from my friends at 7 Rims. I got sent these and I'm gonna test them out and use them in a different video, so more on that later. But recently, I've been doing a lot more just package unboxings and I've been accumulating a lot more gear. So I realized that it kind of seems like I have all of this gear all the time just ready at my disposal. But that's not really the case because it hasn't always been like that. So here's that story of how I got here and how I got that first camera. So the first camera that I bought myself ever was my Sony a6400, and I bought that in like June or July of 2020. I was 17 and had just graduated high school, so I spent about 50% of my total net worth on that thing. I justified it as a little bit of a graduation gift for myself, plus I was in so much copium because I had graduated during COVID. That camera cost me $1,300 and eventually down the line I bought a new lens. I actually bought this lens right here. This is the Tamron 17-70. And that camera plus this lens was the only gear I owned. There was honestly no cool way of how I afforded that camera. I wasn't flipping and reselling things. I wasn't drop shipping or anything. I just worked minimum wage jobs and just stacked up my money. It took me a long time to save up that $1,300 to purchase that camera. Because I was a kid, it took multiple summer jobs and also part-time gigs. For some context, I've been making videos for a very long time. I probably made my first video when I was 12 or 13, and my original filmmaking setup was literally my iPad mini, first generation. I used the rear-facing camera and sometimes the front-facing camera to vlog, make these little films, and I would actually edit these videos on the iPad in iMovie, and that's kind of where it all started. So by the time I finally got my hands on a little bit of money, it was kind of a straightforward decision to put it towards a camera. It was something that I've been interested in for so long, and I kind of knew that it was just the next step. Okay, quick life update. I have recently, about a month ago, started pushing myself, getting myself back in the gym after my ski injury from earlier this year. I mentioned it in an older video, but I basically just felt kind of funny and broke my arm. So this is like month 1.5-ish of being back in the gym, and I feel great. I'm definitely nowhere near where I was, but that's okay because I took so long off, and obviously my arm has gotten a little weaker as it was healing. So as long as I am still going every day, progressing every single day, progress is progress. That's the most important part to me. So I think that's a big part of why people struggle to purchase their first camera. It's not so much the economic part, because that is a little bit straightforward. It's the kind of fear of investing that kind of money into something that you're so unsure of. I think it's a totally valid concern and fear that you might not get your full money's worth out of your camera. But like I said, for myself and for most people that I know, everyone at some point has kind of had to make that large purchase, invested in their craft, and most never look back. So my suggestion to people who are looking to maybe purchase their first camera is to really just focus on your life. Like, forget about the camera for now. Focus on your life and just try saving some money. For example, myself in high school, my minimum wage job paid $11 an hour. If you do the math and I saved every single penny that I earned from working that job, it would have taken me 120 hours to purchase that camera. And that's before tax deductions. So it definitely took me a long time to save up the money and purchase that camera. But that's basically the story of how I afforded my first camera. It just took me a lot of time working and saving up. You gotta tell them what it is. I actually ended up making up the money a lot earlier than 2020 to purchase myself my first camera. Looking back, I probably could have made that purchase around 2018, and I'm sharing this with you guys right now because that is one of my biggest regrets within this whole journey. I really wish that I had just fully committed and believed in myself and started this entire thing earlier. You know what they say, the best time to start was yesterday and the second best time is right now. I did not listen to that advice, but I'm telling you guys now, and I hope that somebody gets something out of this. Obviously, don't go spend your entire life savings on a stupid camera. A camera doesn't make your videos, but if you are in a place where you feel like you could afford a new camera upgrade and make that jump and, you know, invest a little bit more in your craft and your hobby, don't let financial reasons be the thing that holds you back, because that camera, I spent $1,300 on it. That camera has made me well over like $20,000, $30,000 now. And I also ended up selling it for like $1,000 3 years down the line. So in total, I spent like $300. I always like to share these kind of stories because these are exactly the things that I would love to hear when I was starting out. As always, all the gear I use is linked down in the description below. Stay tuned for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.